thing for sure, but because of who he is and his power, I'm sure he can bring more awareness back for the whole Kaepernick situation.
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. Of course, like she said, that Jay-Z's a businessman, so I feel like he ain't doing nothing if it ain't making him no money.
Right.
I mean, that's just how it is. That's just what it is. I also feel like that Jay-Z, he's so powerful that, like she said, he can bring awareness to whatever he wants to bring awareness to. Yeah. So I don't think right now we should have a side of it because, I mean, he just signed. So he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't, took a side on this or that yet. So I guess we can just wait and see what moves he make. Then at that point, we can go ahead and make a decision on whether this a good move or was it not a good move for Jay-Z.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a situation where kind of like police or if you're in the judicial system or anything like that, in order to make change, we got to kind of get into that system ourselves. This is the perfect opportunity for a black man to get into this system itself. Now we can make some change from inside.
Right. So
it might have been things that we don't even know about that he probably has in mind for the NFL, and people are like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that. He's going to take a step back. When in actuality, it could be going forward now.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, Jay-Z has done so much stuff for the community, especially for the black community, and so I don't think he would just do something and not think about the Kaepernick situation, because we all know what the NFL has going on and what they are to the black community. So I think by him working on the Inspire Change initiative, he's probably going to do a lot to increase like some diversity and, clear up some issues there. And also with the entertainment, because we love seeing some halftime Super Bowl shows. And it's a lot of people that really need to be in the halftime Super Bowl show, y'all.
Bring Beyonce back.
Yeah, but we don't always see, we can't always identify sometimes. Or they'll bring back somebody from like, don't get me wrong, Justin Timberlake, cool, but I'm just like,
like Maroon 5 and them people.
Yeah, I'm like, cool, but give us some pop. I mean,
maybe Rihanna will come back.
Yeah, something. I mean, majority of NFL is African American, so can we have a little spunk there? I mean, NBA, like NBA doing
representation.
It right. Yeah,
it makes sense, but at the same time, you gotta think who is paying for these tickets for the Super Bowl game. And what do they want to see? Yeah. We watching it on TV. It ain't gonna be too many of us in the crowd.
And it's not on cable. It's on regular TV. So we don't have to pay-per-view nothing. It's just turn it on.
You definitely watch that from the crib. So.
Yeah. But I'm glad we brung up the whole Kaepernick situation because Jay-Z was one of many who supported Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
it could be a strategic thing.
It could be something that he's, got something planned long term that we, like you said, don't know about yet. But he supported Kaepernick from day one. So hopefully, in that aspect, with just that situation, hopefully something can spark. Because I myself want to see Kaepernick back in the NFL.
Yeah, might come back with the help of
And I think they're working on that, or he's working with some team, or he's trying to get on with some team. I'm not sure exactly. But, I think it's a great business deal. I think it's a good idea for Jay-Z. Like, the fact that he said in the song, like, NFL doesn't, I don't need NFL. They need me.
You need me, I don't need you.
And then he comes back and, like, works with them. He got some plans. So I'm excited to see what he got in store.
He changing, like, the culture of things in the entertainment industry and, like, business-wise. Because, really, at the end of the day, of course it's about business. Because, you have to make business moves to actually like execute this plan, but at the same time it's like he's doing it for a specific reason. Jay-Z is very articulate with what he does. He's always in a position to like try to help people out, and so he do it through business moves. That's why he's like a billionaire. So
yep,
this is true. Make that money. Man. Make that money for them kids and their wifey. Well, yeah. Good luck to you, Jay-Z. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope it turns out great. Make us proud, please. Please, please.
Gotcha. So, a topic I want to touch on today, still kind of in the relationship bubble, I guess you can say. But I want to know, why is it so important to have the looks of a cute couple than have the actual connection of the couple. And when I say looks, I can go a couple ways with looks, as far as, of course, the outside, but also what it looks like to other people. As far as like the social media, let's post this picture, or let's take a picture like this so we can put this caption and this and that. I want to know, why is that so important than to actually know your partner, be with your partner, understand your partner, versus what everybody else thinks.
You ever heard cameras, good ones go?
Definitely heard
The
that.
good ones go.
We look good only on camera, but it is they want to put out this picture that everything is good. We're such this beautiful couple, and you
No
might
problems.
not even actually like the person, but y'all look real good together.
Yeah.
So you want to put out there, oh, that's gonna get a lot of likes.
Or people say we look good together, so I have to.
And I think that's the weirdest thing. Like, yeah,
That
we
is
should-
weird.
we look
They say we
together.
look good, so we gotta get it right.
I think it's that validation thing we were talking about that one time. Like, if somebody says, "Oh yeah, y'all look good, y'all are quote unquote goals," like that gives you some type of fuel. But if y'all don't have no type of connection, then y'all are nobody's
You
goals.
notice we never say that about ugly couples.
And they be the closest one.
Great relationships. We never be like, oh, goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now if they was cute, that's different. We be like, oh, they both look good, goals.
I think we formed this perception of what we think things should look like, and when somebody gives us that look, it's like, oh yeah, like that looks good. I want that.
Yeah, no,
But-
but I mean that's how people get together though. Like
Yeah.
when you first be introduced to somebody, or when you
Honestly.
first see somebody,
Are they
like,
cute?
You base it off looks.
That's true.
So-
That is true, but once you get into that, once you get into that,
Next step.
and it's not what you think, I feel like you should get away from that. Not just she wanted to find his walking, so I guess I might as well. Or he this, and I gotta stay with him. I mean, he looks so good, or he this. Or I don't.
And there's nothing wrong with like wanting somebody that's good looking and you were good looking with them, but if y'all have no type of connections outside of that looks, then looks can go away.
Oh yeah, they will.
But what's inside won't,
Mine
you know?
won't, but yeah.
No substance. Some people, they'll think like, oh, this is the athlete, this is this is the frat boy, this is this person that's
They ain't
popping
the best
around.
ones.
Yeah, and it's just like they just want to have that trophy sometimes. It's like, yeah, we're together, but really your relationship is not, it's not there. You need to have person needs to have some
There's a lot of
substance.
men that think that way too. Like, if you notice, a lot of men, the way they judge other men's relationship is how bad his wife looks. His wife bad. He must got some money. Oh, his wife bad. He up there somewhere in life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't be like, he got a good relationship. His wife cool. Nah, is she bad? So we looking at the looks first automatically.
And it's something that irritated me over the years. I've heard many people say it. If you break up with someone and they say, damn, she was bad, bro, what are you doing?
I hate that.
Bro, she was fine.
But she
bro.
wasn't good for me.
She wasn't nothing.
Let that go.
Yeah, that don't come every day. You're right. But at the same time, her connection with me was nothing that I
Yeah.
could continue to deal with.
I seen a girl tweet the other day. It was yesterday, matter of fact. Somebody had posted something about their relationship or something, and she was like, I was expecting him to come out with something way better than that, considering where he is in life. And it's like, do you not consider that person?
Yeah, what does
like,
that even mean?
How they are as a person? Or is
Yeah.
it just, oh yeah, he's supposed to be with the baddies
Because he got all the money
Yeah.
or the
But
success.
people, especially like people like our age, younger adults, we just motivated by what we see on the internet.
honestly.
Yeah.
Anything we see on the internet, we feel like, dang, that's what we gotta be in life. Whether it comes to relationships, how much money somebody got, we just never everybody don't want to run their own lane.
Yeah.
People want to get in your lane and run with you and stuff
sure.
like that. So
I think the relationship, as far as looks, will probably get you into a relationship, but it won't keep you in a relationship.
That's
Like,
it.
you gotta have personality. You gotta have substance. You gotta have character. Those are the things that will make a relationship last. It's not about, I guess, looks because I don't know. I just think it's superficial for one, and what are you gonna say?
Facial expression.
Yeah, I mean, like Jordan said, I mean, it's like a sandwich.
What?
Listen, listen, it's like a sandwich.
Yeah,
If you want a ham and cheese sandwich, you have to have bread, ham, and cheese.
Yeah.
You can't just have the bread. That's what looks are. You have to have every other aspect in order for me to keep you around and be your man or whatever the case is. Yeah, it can't just be one thing.
It can't be the cheese.
Yeah, it can't be the cheese.
No,
Now you just got
the
cheese.
cheese, the ham, and everything else is the inside.
That reminds me of this video that I saw that I posted on Twitter a long time ago when it was a pastor was preaching about you have to have substance. And he was like, you can't have the icing and the sprinkles and all that stuff. Where is the cake, the solid, the thing that lifts it, that lifts up a person?
Mess with me.
I need substance because it's not gonna last long. You know, you can't bring me anything if you don't have anything inside.
It's like you cute, but like you can't make. It's hard for you to make me happy.
Yeah.
I'm a real big happy guy. Like, well, not saying I'm a big guy on
Big
like
teddy bear.
happiness, right?
Yeah.
I like to be comfortable and like just vibe with my shorty. So if she can't provide that for me, she can be the cutest woman on the planet. But if I'm not just actually like mentally there with her, and
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
It's a lot of cute women. It's a lot of, well, for y'all.
No, you can keep
A lot of cute
explaining.
women, and it's attractive dudes for y'all too.
Yeah.
It's just your level of
What was you about to say?
it's your level of maturity, really. That's where it comes into.
For sure.
If you're young, you're just gonna be thinking like, about
Just
what it
looks.
looks like and the looks. But
At the same time, like you can't be mad at somebody that just want to base things off looks. That's what he or she want, right?
I mean, yeah, but you gotta deal with them consequences that come with that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Better hope you just hit the jackpot one time.
the devil, he be looking real cute on the outside.
Okay.
He
The
comes in the
looks can
forms.
be deceiving.
Yeah,
They can. Them bad
Right.
ones y'all say ain't always the ones for you.
they bad.
It take a lot of maturity to know the difference.
And that's true.
To go into like, yeah, she's bad, but her character is not there.
You gotta ask them a question. What
Yeah.
question you gonna ask them?
What's
First
a good?
person to ask about their character.
Yeah.
What's the first
I'm gonna
question?
ask them. I'm gonna be like, okay, all right, we go to the movies. Right. Are you bringing snacks or are we buying there?
Oh my
That's
gosh.
your
I like
character.
to ask people where they see themselves in 5 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Like
What's
if
your goals?
you don't have no type of plan,
Mm-hmm.
then I know that's not for me. I'm not no boost. Like even if your plan, cool, it don't have to be nothing that I imagine somebody to have. But if it's like surface, it's just like.
Man, bro, I don't know.
I haven't really
Right.
thought about the which means you're okay with being stagnant.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that.
We're in our 20s, kid. I need
What's
you
your
to.
first question, Kelvin? To see somebody's character.
To see somebody's character, my first question probably would be. I don't even know, honestly. I guess it was just like you view a person. Okay, you come out, y'all on a date or whatever the case is. I guess whatever I see is what I would ask first. Like it depends on the person, I guess. Because of course you've been done talked to them before, so
Yeah.
it's something that you can only say once you've talked to that person.
I'll ask questions that I know the answer to already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying some like okay, if I was dating around, it's like this girl right here, I might not be able to ask her the same thing I can ask her because I might already know something about her that I don't know about her. So it's kind of like a
And then some people aren't as open as.
yeah. So I
I
don't
like
know.
conversation.
Me too.
Like,
That's a deal
I
breaker
like
for
to
me.
talk all day.
yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
what's your input on relationships? What's your take on
Life,
this? That's
like-
when I can figure out, all right, what's in your head
Yeah.
is in line with what I'm got going on.
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Oh God, I hate that
How do
question.
you
Okay,
the
job
world in a
application.
substantial view based on the effectiveness of the.
Ooh, that sounded
Job
good.
recruiter.
I think a good indicator of like characters, like just listening to them talk about like friends, family. Do they gossip a lot? Do they talk about people? what is their relationship with their parents, with their, you know? I think that's important. That really, it starts at home, like, so.
But some people don't have those type of relationships, and they are still good people.
Yeah, for sure.
I just need to know, though.
Yeah, because if I bring up a lot of family stuff, but you don't know how to relate or nothing like, it's just like.
My favorite question is to ask, like, what is your relationship? Do you have a relationship with your father? Because it teaches me how to cherish.
No, because that can be. You can take advantage of somebody with that question. What? You can literally take advantage of somebody for that question.
I see where you're going with that question, though.
Not your relationship with your father. Yeah. You know what? I'm not even.
Like, do you have a?
If you don't have a daddy, I can really just.
No, bro, it's not.
I can treat you any kind of way. And you're gonna. No, because some people not having that father. It's like you don't necessarily know what that isn't. Yeah, like
no.
We're not. That's not even the topic. So we're not even getting into that conversation. But that's your first question, Solid?
No, that's not my first question.
You just said your.
No, he said he would like to. He would like that.
I'm about to say like what?
I can see
so you have a father.
Basically, just knowing about his family. Like,
I can see where you can go.
What's going on? You know.
But before you ask something like that, it should be questions that are asked that'll make that person bring out.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even have to ask that. You would just figure it out.
Yeah.
From the questions,
Not really.
Yeah.
It depends on how open they are, but
a lot of times
but
yeah. Gonna come out and be like, yeah, I don't really fool.
No, I'm saying no. Kel said you ask questions leading up to it, so you can ask a certain question and she might answer it in a whatever. And so then you just take that. Okay, so.
Oh, it's like playing 21 questions.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm curious now. So like, what would be your perception when they give you that answer? Because I kind of see where you could go with that. Because for some females that don't have a father figure in their lives, you kind of have to like take it slow step. Because some people have those father issues,
that trust issue line,
that's
looking for love.
It's hard
because a lot of women, when they don't have that father figure in their life, they're looking for father traits in some of these boys.
Yeah, you had that right.
They don't trust men at all.
That's true too.
Just because of something that their father did to them,
something that they seen. So it teaches you in a way.
You can't say certain things and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's what I was getting. Come on now.
Whatever.
I put some words in this.
No, because MJ was over here boosting it up. And that just, heated me up a little bit.
I started sweating. I'm like, hold on.
Look, and it's already hot.
You know what steps to take if you really that person that doesn't have a father figure. Okay, I need to be delicate. I need to understand. I need to bring some more to the table.
Yeah.
I feel it. I was there with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so this brings me to my question and answer. So with all the gun control talk going on, all the mass shootings and killings and stuff, my question is it gun control? Is the problem gun control, or is it mental illness?
Both.
That's tough.
I think it's both. Because I think we have opened this, carrying firearms, and it seems like people are kind of taking that to their own advantage. Like, I know there's one guy that just walked in Walmart with his gun and was like, I was just testing my rights. And it's just like, we don't need that, especially with all the stuff that's going on. It's becoming a fear for a lot of Americans. And so I think that it needs to be restricted. I get people have guns to protect their home, protect people, but some of these people are really going crazy, and some do have mental illness. I know it's some that, are a little bit in the head, but I still wouldn't use that entirely as an excuse because people know what they're doing. Like, if you have that much hurt and pain in your heart to go shoot up a school or shoot up a store or shoot up a church, it's definitely a plot. It's strategic. To an extent, it's like a hate crime. It's so many different things. So, yeah, it's both, but the mental illness isn't an excuse because you know what you're doing when you pick up that gun. So,
I feel like with these past few shootings, it's just has to do with guns. And I'm not saying, I don't believe that all Americans should just, give up their guns and nobody should have, rights to bear arms. That's not what I'm saying. But as far as like military weapons, there's no reason why normal people should have, you know, those weapons in their possession, especially like young kids, you know, just getting out of college, high school. Like, what business do you have having a military rifle or, you know, an AK-47? It's kind of crazy to me.
That's real.
It's so scary. Like, it's so scary. You're not safe anywhere. Like in Houston, somebody literally got out of their car in traffic and just was shooting up a whole bunch of cars. You can't even sit in traffic on the way to work or on the way to go home or on the way to pick up your kid. Like, it's just so scary to walk out your house, be in your house. You can't even send your kids to school properly anymore. Like, you just never know what's going to happen because it's getting so repetitive. And I think the thing is a lot of people are trying to repeat what someone else did. Like, oh, this person shot this up. Well, I'm upset, I'm mad, or I have this going on, so let me do that too. And then somebody else, let me do that too. Like, you see over the past week, it's been so continuous. Like, I just think we need to get to the bottom of that. Like, what is really going on? Like, these mass shootings, it's becoming a theme.
I think if somebody feels okay to pull out, to go get a gun and fire it on people, then yeah, something is wrong with them, for sure. However, the simple fact that it's okay for anybody to just walk into a store and buy a gun, no matter who you are, I think there's a problem too. Because, come on now. Yeah, I understand it's a self-defense thing, but not everybody needs a gun.
But how do you
determine who needs one and who doesn't?
And they do background checks, but a lot of this stuff, it's easy to pass the background
okay,
check to get a
so
gun.
I just bought a gun last week.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, let me rephrase it like this. You know, everybody don't need to just casually be having their gun out. Like, if you go to the store.
Agreed.
Cool. If you're in your home, somebody intrudes. Yeah, okay, pull it out because you're in my you're at my property at this point. You know, that's one thing. But when you go to a public place and you have your weapon with you, are you defending yourself or are you showing?
Trying to get
like, are you trying to intimidate people? Yeah, like, come on now. And then, like, we hate to go back to the race thing, but they know that they can get away with it. Let somebody else of a different race walk into a store with a gun. Okay. You're not making it past the front door.
And that's where it gets tricky because it's like, okay, we have this open firearm policy. But it's like when if an African American comes, they're a threat, they get shot down, so why are we not doing that same thing to the other races? Like, either you eliminate the whole thing in general or you start having some open-minded decisions go on, like, you know.
I feel like if we really just sit here and think, what could we possibly do about this? Because you can't take away guns from everybody. Yeah. And mental illnesses are going to be around forever. Yeah. At any point in time, somebody can get up and just say, you know what? Like, I have this gun. I'm going to go shoot some stuff up. What can we realistically do about that?
I mean, you can't control another human being. Yeah. So you can't realistically do nothing. But I feel like if more people who are in those positions to create change, if they would actually step up and see that there is a problem, then maybe more people would logically be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this, even though I know I can do it and get away with it, you know? Yeah. But they're just getting away with it, so of course I'm gonna go do it. If time after time after time you see somebody go into a school or go into and their consequences is something minor, cool, whatever, what's a month in jail? Or, you know what?
So the question is, how, and we all know the answer to this, but who's shooting up the schools?
I mean, it's
not us.
Not us.
White supremacists.
Yeah, so at that point, we've already, it goes back to slavery.
These people.
If you really want to be technical about it, it goes all the way back to slavery. We were the mistreated ones. We were the ones that nobody really cared about. We were the ones that they just wanted off the face of the earth, basically. Mm-hmm. So that still abides to this day. So you have a person come in and shoot up a school full of children or an office or whatever. That just lowers the population. That's what they're trying to do anyway. So, yeah he's not going to get 40 years or the death penalty. He kind of did what they want to do anyway. So it's like, so
that's tough. I mean, I hate that.
It makes sense. It's tough, but it's sad. But it's the truth.
We just can't do nothing about it. Like, it bothers me so much seeing so much gun control talk like on TV, because it's like you cannot go into people's homes and take their guns.
Yeah.
And the way you try to fix that is you got to tap into the mental illness part. It's the only way.
And
the gun part, you can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying on the news, I think it was a governor, a senator, somebody was speaking about the cause of one of the shootings, I think the one in El Paso, was because of video games. And I was like, is this really what we're trying to do to cover this up? No, this man is sick. This man is out of his mind, and it's straight, like, bogus. Like, this is some crazy stuff that's happening. It's not video games, because all of us have played video games before. I know a lot of men play more video games than women, but, like, video games is always a thing. It's a childhood thing. You don't see some people going around just shooting up people because of video games. Like, that's not it at all. Don't cover it up. This person did something wrong. This person did something sickening, and they should be punished for it. It was their decision, and it's a problem.
Yeah, I just think video games in that aspect enhances the mental. So if you have a mental illness where you can go that route, then a video game, it enhances your way of thinking, because it's like, okay, well, he did this, this, and that. If I can go buy this and that from that game, why can't I do it too? So it definitely enhances the thought process or the meditation about it. So yeah.
Well, I'm like the El Paso shooter. He drove 9 hours to do that. So obviously he wasn't out his mind.
But he drove from here, huh?
Yeah, he drove from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He drove 9 hours all the way to El Paso to do the shooting, and pretty much said, I'm the shooter once he was done. So obviously, I mean, these people are...
They just casually walked him to the police car.
Yeah.
A lot of times, we can't keep using mental illness as an excuse for these shootings. Sometimes, I don't know.
Mental illness, I mean, I just think about, all the stuff that's happened to black people. Like, if anybody should be mental, we should be the ones that's mental. But, I mean, obviously, we're not the ones, doing all that. So
that'd be the first thing they want to do when they shoot up a school or shoot up a store or something. Did he have any mental illnesses? Nah, nigga, that nigga, he had. He was mental, he just
crazy.
He just wanted to do it. Some people just like that.
I mean,
they're hurting.
You really can't change the hearts of people not really. That's something they gotta change in themselves. So.
I think the one that always hurts me is the shooting of that elementary school. Was that in Connecticut or Massachusetts?
Sandy Hooks?
Yes. That was just, wow. I think for me, that was really the start of it when I started thinking, this is really crazy. I mean, these are 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They can't even live the rest of their lives. What makes you go do that to children? And now it's just sparked a whole wave, even the one in Ohio that took place recently. I believe he was going after his sister, because he did kill his sister. So I believe he was going for her and just went for everybody else. And it's just what is this? I don't even know. It's just
to be mad at something that happened. People.
And
it's built up anger almost.
Yeah.
Not enough self-control.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and actually today there was a shooting in Philadelphia. If y'all don't know, and the shooter was standing off with the police officers, and 6 police officers ended up getting shot and killed. So I'm really interested to see what happens with that. And it's still ongoing. I don't know if they found the shooter yet, or it's still going on right now. So I mean, I don't know if it's whether they're looking for him right now, or if they found him. I don't know, because I haven't been watching the news right this minute.
Killed a police officer.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
And I believe the police officers were the only ones who got shot in this. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think, excuse me for those who may disagree with me, but I feel like with this presidency that is current,
That's it.
we are starting to see a lot more terror and a lot more open hatred because people feel like they have the capability of doing so. Not saying that it just popped up. Don't get me wrong, it's always been there. But it's like now we're seeing it even more because psychologically I'm thinking about it like this. Our president does and says what he wants. So I can understand how people feel like they can identify with that. And it's like, okay, cool. They're taking it as like, oh, this is my leader. This is a person that's in charge. So he's doing it. I can say what I want. I can fire. I can lose my mind with these guns all over the place. Like, it doesn't even matter because now we have, like, it's really freedom of speech for sure now. And I just feel like a lot of people need to recognize that and we have to start trickling down some of these issues, some of these causes, and start getting to the matter of some of these effects. Because to me, I feel like that's really what's sparking a lot of things because we're seeing a lot more controversy than we ever have. Like,
very true.
Yeah, and I think, like, with that, you have people in the judicial system who are not going to advocate for people that are not like them.
Mm-hmm.
So there goes a problem, too.
there's a slight number.
It's like these people are older and they've already lived their life and they're making decisions that, you know, they're trying to make decisions that will affect them. They don't really care about future generations and what they have to live through, you know. So it just amazes me how long they've let this go on without, you know, putting any laws in place to stop this. Like, it shouldn't be this ongoing thing. Like, this stuff been happening since the beginning of the year, and, you know, they're not going to take it seriously unless it happens to one of them. So
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's up to us. It's up to our generation to teach and be the change.
That's why I feel like, going back to the whole Jay-Z thing, that's why I feel like it's very important that we as a black race, black community, get more involved into these powerful positions to take a stance and kind of flip it around a little bit, because as long as we're the bottom of it, it's going to continue to be the same thing.
Look at us spitting knowledge and stuff in here. Y'all, look, we can be the governors or something.
I'll pass on that job. But on controversial topics, this week in social media, I saw that good little Twitter that the state of Illinois, their public schools will now be required to teach students about the LGBTQ history. Disclaimer, do not have no problems with people in that community. Disclaimer for MJ too. Actually, disclaimer for the whole crew. Okay, we have no problems with anybody in that community. However, why do you feel that it is okay to teach a child about something that they probably have no awareness about? You're barely teaching American history, correct? Mm-hmm. Why bring in another factor that has, no offense, nothing to do with them? Now, it's one thing, maybe their parents are that. So their parents are going to talk to them about that. But don't take the, what's the word I want to use? Don't take the liberty in teaching somebody else's child that when they might not be ready to teach them that. Because, like I was saying earlier, like, my child learned something like this and I have no awareness about that. How am I going to be able to answer a question that they coming to me about? And it's not, I don't have awareness because, you know, I'm not even in that community. It's more so I don't have awareness because that has nothing to do with me. So why would I, you know? Yeah, it's okay to be informed about things, but if it, you know.
Yeah.
So I just think that's disrespectful, for one. For two, like I said, if you're not teaching the American history right, how are you adding another factor in?
Yeah, for sure.
I have two things to say about it. First, I feel like kids haven't even branched out to know what they want to be.
Yeah.
So for you to try to teach them this over here, I feel like it's wrong, because you're not giving them much of a choice at that point, because kids are naive. So if you're teaching this, what do kids already think when you go to school and you learn it's the right thing?
Yeah. Not
saying that, you know, you don't have the kids who know right from wrong, but if If a teacher says this plus this is this, as a child, you're like, okay, my teacher said it, so it's true. So that's number one. Number two, I feel like you should make up your mind whether you want to teach math, reading, science, social studies, or do you want to teach about life? Because growing up, we all went through school, and a lot of stuff that we learned in school, we have never seen in life. So
never used the Pythagorean whatever.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
Pythagorean.
MX plus B, Y equals MX plus B. Never used it.
Never got it right.
So I feel like it's not something that I feel like should be used because I mean it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of see both sides. I'm gonna play a little bit of devil.
Okay, let's hear it.
Always.
I can see as if you are in the LGBTQ community, how it's a lot of letters, how you would want some type of representation. Just like us growing up, we in school, we love Black History Month. I mean, depending on what school you're at, you might not get a lot of activities for Black History Month, but that's a time that you enjoy in school. So if you feel like that as a child, it kind of depends on how early too, because a lot of children can be confused. Like a lot of little boys, we 5 years old thinking girls are nasty. Like, oh, she got cooties and stuff like that. Yeah, we don't really know what we like. So
and by 10, you want to date, you want to like one, you know.
So it's kind of confusing as a child. You getting taught this in school, but I kind of also see how it's like, well, just like we want representation in class, they would want some too. But and also, I think I saw this on Twitter earlier. How we talk about, for instance, do any of y'all remember hearing any type of Asian history in school? Asian history, Asian American history,
and stuff.
No Asian American history.
No.
Probably about a week's worth of Black history, huh?
If that,
maybe 2 days. If that, if you went to a white school, you lucky to have a
That.
day.
You got a little
making all the Martin Luther King
15 minutes.
And stuff. Yeah.
One little paragraph.
I
I have a dream.
We watching that one Martin Luther King movie that everybody
Animated.
played,
Oh, that's
that
a good
animated
one. Martin.
So it's like, how do you teach all of that for such a short period of time? And it's barely taught. Like, I never remember learning any Asian American history, Mexican American history, any type of history.
Not until you get to high school.
American history. But now you want to bring this in the elementary schools. I think we got to kind of look at our education system. It's like, okay, trying to add some stuff in there. We ain't even got this damn package. Can we learn about our races and ethnicities and stuff first, and then throw in some sexuality later on, just not now.
I like what you said, MJ, and I like what you said, Kel, because you as well, Shadea. You hit it right on the head. But it's like, yes, I do agree that for those that do identify with the LGBTQ community, you would want to see that representation, big words, in class and in school. But I think it's
representation. No mind.
we all struggle with that.
Don't do me, y'all. Don't do me. But I just think that with that, it's more of a thing where there are people that can identify and there are people that not. So I think that that's more of a discussion in the home, because I know for me, I would definitely alert my child about it because that's the world that they live in. I don't know what age, as a 4 or 3-year-old, it's not really that something that I can hit on, but definitely in the home, I would let them know, yes, you're supposed to love everybody, and this is what's out there, and this is what's here, this is that. But in school, I think no one can really compare it to African American history or anything else, because that is more on a racial scale, and this is more on life. And then, like Uncle Kel said, if we're going to talk about life, can we talk about how to do taxes and stuff? How to...
Let's talk about some stuff that we do every day.
Yeah, like college, finding a job, things like that. If you really want to talk about life, like...
I think, like, at an older age, cool, like, you know, in college, we have classes on that, gender studies and stuff like that. Because at that point, you want to know more in depth about that stuff. No offense, but I feel like it's forced teaching a 5-year-old.
I was just going to say that I feel like in college, that's fine, because at that point, first of all, you're an adult.
Right.
18, 19, whatever, you're an adult. So you can learn about whatever you want to learn about as far as outside of the norm. But that young, first of all, was it any votes for the parents? Like, do the parents agree with this? Like, what? How can you just force something like that in there? Because I feel like if this is something you're gonna force in there, let's try to force in some religion then. Because let's try to force in something that everybody is a part of anyway.
We don't even pray anymore in the morning.
They took it out about no religion in
at
high
all.
school classes. We didn't touch on no type of
zero.
So if that's a sensitive topic, then this is too.
Yeah.
You know.
Let the teacher talk about the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And you stand up. I want to talk there. I want to talk. Oh, you getting suspended?
Nah.
With a village fur.
You getting
gone.
To ISS.
Done.
I mean, I think it's okay to a certain extent. I mean, but I just don't think it should be forced on everybody. And then at the same time, it's just like, was there a discussion with the parents? Were they notified? Was there waivers? Was there information? Was there any talks about, this is what's going to be introduced into this school, or this is this class that's going to be going on? Do you want your child to participate in this class or not? Like, it's kind of crazy to me how it just...
I remember back in elementary school, it was 5th grade, matter of fact, we had to watch a puberty video. We had to get
we did too.
paper signed to go back home to say that we can watch this video.
Mm-hmm.
And now they learning about whole different...
And another question I have, who's teaching this class?
Do they agree?
It has to be 2 teachers at this point. Because you need somebody that can, I feel like, that knows both. Yeah, that can give both sides. Because let's say you have kids in a class who are completely oblivious, and they're teaching all this stuff, and you still confused. Like,
I feel like these elementary kids' minds don't even really have the capacity to even retain the knowledge about this subject. Yeah. Because this is like, what are we preparing the students for?
Yeah.
What is this? Like, is this going to be on?
Right. Is this part of, is this education now? I understand, like, you need to get knowledgeable about it. But at the same time, if my son, like, he don't have to, I mean, that's not like his parents,
6 years old.
He barely knows his gender, and you're adding 5 extra to it.
He's watching
cartoons.
You're teaching them about like a social status at a young age. Like, they not there yet. They want to play with the wrestling man and stuff. They don't want to
and cars.
They don't want to learn about who
Transformers,
who to like, who not to like, and information about just that.
What people do in private.
Right.
I mean,
This is a subject
that
that
they should be learning about anything of
gender
that
related.
nature, gender related.
can
at
barely
that
pass
young
a
age.
tax test.
Anything at that age, like I'm not even gonna allow my kids to watch stuff that got like relationship stuff in it at a young age. Maybe like middle school, high school, but 3rd, 4th grade, you're not finna be
And whatever, like Kelvin said earlier, like whatever is being taught, they're gonna believe it's true.
Exactly.
Yep.
What if I don't want my kid to, do that or be a part of that community?
There are some people. There are some parents that probably feel that way. Okay, are we being truthful or not? There are probably parents that are in the school system and are probably like no, and then there's probably some parents that are like, okay,
This is the line and you crossed it.
and then there's probably some parents that are like, yes. So I mean, that's true. Some parents are literally thinking that right now, like, I don't want to do this, and there's some parents that are like,
yeah, let's do it. This is great.
yeah, it's just the way the world is, and it's just how it's gonna be. I remember this girl, she said something like, her excuse for it was that this is the world we live in, so they're gonna have to know this anyway. But if you really want to think about it in comparison, think about when you're a kid and your parents don't want you watching movies that have a lot of cussing in it, or they don't want you watching movies with a lot of violence and blood and all that stuff. It's kind of in the same nature, because as a parent, you want to be able to teach your kids how you want to teach them, raise them the best way that you can raise them. And once they get to a certain age, of course, they're going to make decisions for themselves and identify with whatever they want to identify with. And as a parent, you believe that you raise them the best way you can. So I just feel like you should allow parents to do that. Like, this country, the government, nothing, this education system, you can't force anyone to do that. So
That's true.
that's my take on it.
Because now, how our parents, grandparents used to always say, kids need to stay in a kid's place. Kids need to be kids. So now you throw all this stuff in there. How can they be a kid when you're giving them all this, I feel like, adult information? So it's not going to turn out
Once
good.
you've been exposed to something, it's like, right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Y'all never, like, found yourself invested into somebody at the wrong time?
Ooh, yeah, Solly. That's good. Speak on
I think everybody's got into that. Let's switch
Speak on it. Speak
Let's
on
switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
real
that's
quick.
good. That's a good topic.
So, like, I was thinking the other day, I was like, sometimes we be giving our time to the wrong people and to the wrong things, and then we find ourselves super upset about something just because, like, let me see.
Yeah,
Think
let them
on it.
use you.
I was gonna say something real deep,
Say it.
but it went over my head.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I was saying, like a lot of times we waste our time on like people. So what is y'all like input on like being pretty much in a quote unquote right relationships or pretty much quote unquote wrong relationships? Or in yourself.
Start it over. And what was the first point that you just said about
Well,
investing your time in the wrong people?
No, so pretty much putting time in the wrong thing.
Putting time in the wrong things.
I feel like everybody has to experience that sometime in life, because if you are not in this situation with this person or in this relationship, I feel like you will be stronger and better once you get into this next one. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go through experiences to grow. So I feel like at some point, everybody has wasted their time with something or invested their time in someone. For those that haven't yet, maybe it's coming soon,
Oh,
you
no,
know.
for sure.
But I truly don't believe that anybody has just got into something and it's set. Like, there had to be some tribulations, some big, some small. Some people probably had to go through multiple people to waste their time with multiple people to find the right one. And then some people probably was just in a relationship with someone, had a couple of stumbles, and is still with that person.
So you saying
That's all.
so basically you saying people don't waste time.
No, I'm saying they do.
I got a point on that. Okay, go.
Wait. I live by something that I don't feel like I've never put nothing as far as time wasted. I've never put that into like a
It's a
bracket.
lesson learned.
Yeah, I
you
feel like
needed that.
because a time wasted that's obvious. That's the obvious. So I feel like it's not time wasted. It's something that you learn. Now, the only way you can learn something is if you don't do it again.
That.
I feel like in that case, if you go through something and that wasn't for you, to learn from it is not to do it again. If you go back to that and it happens to you again, that's on you.
Wasted your time.
Yeah, at that point, that becomes time wasted. But if you can go through something and move on from it, and hopefully, because sometimes you got to give a chance. See, a lot of us are so rock hard, cold hearted, and just not open about a lot of stuff. Sometimes you have to give another chance. So once that second chance is given, that's something you have to. That's something you got to pray about, honestly.
And that's true.
Yeah, you got to pray about it because
not everybody can get a second chance.
Oh no, it doesn't. Everybody don't deserve it. So you got to find it within yourself to give that person that second chance, or hopefully it's just that second chance, not a third and a fifth one and all that. So I don't feel like time wasted is the right thing to say. I feel like it's just a lesson learned, but you have to be the one to make sure that it's a lesson learned.
It does suck though. Like, have y'all ever if any of you have ever been in that situation, like you're with someone, you're thinking like, oh, this is probably gonna be it. This is the one. This, is going well, and then nope, everything hits the fan, and it's like, dang. Like, I know with me, I'd be so frustrated with myself. Like in the past, because I have been through that, and it's just like, dang, like. You go back to, why did I waste my time with this person? Or like, it's just so frustrating. But yeah, you do have to think, maybe I needed this because now I know what I don't want or what I don't need. And I know what better looks like or what it should look like.
Because everything is a journey. I I'm not saying you want to go through heartbreak after heartbreak just to find the right one, but at the same time, life is a journey. So if it's about how you react, I mean, it's about how you react to what happened. If you say, "Oh, he broke my heart," he broke my heart again. I just will never date a day in my life. Okay, at that point, that situation or those situations have control over you at that point.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
yeah.
Preaching today.
Yeah. I brought
Yeah,
my
I
suit
don't
and
think
ties in the car.
You don't necessarily consider it waste time until the end.
Yeah. Or
So
you get
it's
hurt.
like
Realize.
until something happens, because you could be quote unquote wasting your time the whole time, and it's like, okay, whatever. I think it's also a hopeful, like a hope for the future. You know, you might stay with someone because you see the potential.
Yeah.
Not to you, it's I'm not wasting my time. It's that I feel like you said, like, this is it. You know, and maybe right now we just on 2 different levels, but this is it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to not get it at all than to hope for it and never get it.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
better
I
not
feel
to
like-
want something at all, but to hope to get something and not have it. Put it like that.
Oh, like if you
Bro,
Kinda
flat
like-
over your head.
Not rich.
I don't.
So
I don't know.
I'm better off.
Like, hey,
I'm
he
better
said it
off
twice.
not getting. I'm better off not getting with her than to hope to get with. Bro,
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I feel like that's
You're-
after
I-
lessons
that's-
learned, though.
Yeah.
You know, like you ain't gonna know that in the beginning.
Yeah. And so it's like
You have
okay,
to go through those things.
You might see some little things, whatever. You know, you might dust it over and brush it underneath the rug.
Sweet.
But I think in everything we have a hope.
true.
So, and you don't, like
But
I
it's-
said, you
it's-
don't
like
realize
Like I
this.
said, it's worse to hope to have something but never get it.
Well, it's not hope. I mean,
Yeah.
It is a hope.
no, I mean, because I feel like you're saying in hope as if, like, I don't have it right now.
No. Yeah. I don't have it right now, but I want to have it. It's better not to want it at all than
Just
to
let
hope
it come
to
to
get
you.
it
Type
and not
thing.
have it.
But you could have something and it can grow, like we were talking about growth to what you want.
True, if you're willing to stick
It's all right.
around for that.
You got it. I got it. We
I
got
know
it.
what I know what you're saying. Like, it's just like if you see a cute girl, you see a good looking guy, and it's just like,
Nah.
all right, we talking. You know, I'm hoping that this is
Yeah.
everything that
Oh,
I'm
well,
doing.
no,
Like,
I
not
don't
to
mean
get
it in
it
that
all.
he's the
aspect.
person. That's how I was thinking
Yeah,
about it. Like,
in a way.
hope he's the person that's,
hope he the
he
person,
messed
we
me
just seen
over.
each-
She
man.
messed me over. And it's like, dang, I was hoping that
That's
they
love
would.
at first sight, though. Y'all talking about the other week.
Yeah.
You just missed
Ah,
it. Even love at first sight.
That is not love at first
No,
sight.
that's not love at first sight.
That's
Saying,
opportunity.
I'm hoping this works. That's not.
No, I didn't say that part, but she was saying, like, how you want to be with somebody, and like, oh, I just really want to be with them.
That's not love at sight. That's you wanting to be in a relationship, right?
You hope that this
Who
is the
were person
one.
that you just saw those. That would be love at first sight.
You think?
I think so.
Oh, it could be argued.
I don't really be looking at
We gonna have to
you
agree to
like,
disagree.
ooh, I wanna be
Yeah, whatever.
No, love at first sight. First of all, love. Let's take love.
Ooh, let's
Out
not-
of it. That's a strong
Yeah,
word.
let's talk about
Yeah,
what.
because you don't know the person.
Let's discuss what love is. Let's discuss what love is. I feel like it's love at first sight if you see someone and you have a certain feeling about that person. Let's say
Okay.
your feeling is here. Down the line, y'all continue to talk, y'all start dating, blah, blah, blah. Let's say your feeling is still there. At that point, you love them. So you did love them because it's still the same thing. Yeah.
Nah.
I
Yeah.
would say lust at
That's a
first
good
sight.
theory,
I don't
but-
believe in love at first sight.
Yeah.
Lust at first sight. How do you
So-
look at somebody and be like, oh, I want to be with them? You don't know nothing about their
Sometimes
heart.
you
It's mental.
just know.
How do you just know? You don't know them. They could be
I mean,
like
I ain't never
murderers.
experienced it. All I'm saying is, I feel like you can look at somebody and
It'd be
feel
like,
a
oh,
connect.
they fine.
I mean-
bet we would look good together.
Exactly. That's what it is, because it's on
Yeah, I'm gonna
looks.
try to get to know them.
You can't. You don't know.
Okay,
what
so
they
let's
even
say-
think.
I
Like,
know them.
Okay, so let's say you looked at somebody cool. You had a conversation with somebody, like, that conversation was like,
okay, this conversation.
Yeah, I'm talking about at first sight. Like I'm walking,
I'm looking at
see
you.
I don't know you.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question for
we're
you
not even
now,
on
MJ.
topic.
I have a question for MJ now. You said, okay, you don't know him. You don't know him. That is true. You don't know him. But what happens to something where you're with somebody for years and years and years, and then something happens and boom, you love that person, but then you never really knew them because you didn't know they would do what they did. So at that point, it's like you.
I got you.
Yeah.
Y'all got some analogies today. Y'all going deep.
Okay, so they switched up on you, basically.
I mean, you can call it switched up if you want, but sometimes you really never know a person.
Yeah.
You just don't. So
true.
if that's the case, what happens in that point?
Well, I would say this, and that's the case.
Well,
You never loved them. You loved how they are. Towards
Okay.
you.
I would like to add on to
Okay,
that.
what you got, Sally?
If the fact it's your fault that you don't know them. You never allow them. You didn't see them.
Real them. I see what you're saying.
There it is. You didn't see them. It's your fault that you don't know
There it
them.
is.
It's not their fault. They don't have to tell you about them. It's up to you to
didn't
ask and learn them.
But I disagree about it being your fault that you don't know somebody, because I can sit here and you can ask me 100 questions. I can give you 100 answers. Do that mean all of them were true?
But see, but when you
Did
really
I
trying to
expose
love
some
somebody,
things?
it's not off what they tell you.
Topic.
It's about how they treat you. and
If
how
I'm
they-
showing you everything that you asked me, then what?
then that's how you are. There's no way you can't. It's hard to lie with actions. You can't. It's very, very hard to be lying to somebody in actions.
Time out. So if I'm in a relationship
And
and
you're doing everything right.
I'm doing
You're not
everything.
nothing
No.
wrong.
I'm
You're
doing
not a
everything
good
right
person.
toward that person. That's what we're going. If I'm in a relationship and I do everything right toward her, but I'm
You
over
not
here
that
doing
person.
this,
I'm
I'm not that
You
person.
can't be over here
Too
doing
hard.
this and still be doing everything right.
That means you're
Yes, you
working too
can.
hard and
Toward
wasting
that,
your time.
no, toward you cannot. I'm saying toward that person. If I'm sitting here and I'm showing you the world, everything that you want, I'm giving it to you. But I'm over here doing this as well.
You cannot be over here doing this and still be a good dude towards her.
So you're saying you're
can't?
working too hard if you're doing
No,
that.
what I'm saying is, you cannot be with this person and showing them everything that they want and still be over here on the side messing around and call yourself a good dude towards them. Obviously, it might be small. Right? That's your little issue, but it's an issue.
It's gonna come to light also.
So you telling me it's not men and women that are in relationships that don't feel like they're on top of the world, but they're really not because of what's being done behind the scenes.
What I'm telling you is,
Confused.
you cannot be a good girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife to somebody.
Yeah.
No matter how good you treat them, you providing everything for them, you treating them great. If you are doing something on the side that they don't know about, you're
good is invalid.
No. Your good is invalid to you, not them.
It's invalid to
It's invalid. It's a concept thing.
Overall.
Because everything works
How
in
can
a
you be a good
circle.
boyfriend and you're cheating?
It's a
Listen,
circle.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I'm okay, let's just say a girl's thing as far as me being a good boyfriend is buying her shoes that she wants, buying her dresses she wants, buying her all this. If I'm doing that toward her, she's okay. I'm doing everything she wants.
Does she know about what you're doing on the side?
She does not, but that's what I'm saying.
To her, you're a good boyfriend.
To her. We're talking about her.
You know you're not.
We know what we're doing.
In your mind.
Of course,
are
in
you a
our
good boyfriend?
to me.
In your mind, are you a good boyfriend if you on the side?
The average guy is a good boyfriend as long as he's not caught.
What's the topic?
I see what both of y'all are saying. Like, you're more on the side of what is in the
man,
guy's mind,
Yeah.
and you're more on the side of
girl.
what the girl thinks.
But
So the girl
overall,
will think
that he's the perfect
this
boyfriend.
is a good person, and then when
That's
everything
what I'm
comes
saying. I'm
to
not
light,
saying that
yeah.
But you
I'm
know
a
in
bad,
your
I'm a
head
good
that you ain't-
boyfriend just because I cheat.
Yeah.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying to you is, if I'm giving her everything she wants and she sees nothing but everything that I do is good for her, then at that point, yes, I'm a good boyfriend. But I feel like the average guy is a good boyfriend to himself until he's caught doing what he's not supposed to be
That's
doing.
it.
And it's like,
I feel like that's what we want to think. I feel like deep down inside, we know we're doing wrong.
Well, you know you're doing
I
wrong,
feel
but
like that'll have us having an insecurity because we know to ourselves, like, dang, like,
I'm
she think
messing
I'm
up.
good, but I be on the side messing up. Like, I'm not a good boyfriend. We think we are. She thinks we are.
Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
deep down, but what's on top that you're a good boyfriend? That's just like if I rob a bank. If I go rob a bank, I know it's wrong, but if I haven't got caught, I'm going to still enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But until I'm caught, I might be sitting in jail like, damn, I shouldn't have never done that. Then at that point, you're caught. So, yes, you have nothing but time to realize how bad you were or what wrong
I
you
feel like
did.
it's all about
And
your
then,
conscience.
and then we get caught that it ties into investing the wrong.
to bring it
much time in a wrong.
To bring it back to that.
Yeah.
To bring it back to that, if you are the guy or the girl that's that's doing all the right things to have your partner think that you are a good partner and you're doing this stuff on the side, you yourself are wasting time because you're putting in way too much work to please your partner and put in work to do what you do on the side. That's way too much. You either cut it loose, tell that girl, that boy, look, I just
not
can't.
being faithful.
Yeah, and just, give yourself a breath because
that's their lesson learned.
Yes.
All right. So what do you have for us today?
So my topic for today is one that I really like.
Okay.
I talk about it a lot because people ask me a lot and I hate it. What do y'all think about asking for discounts on your friend's business, or if you have a business and your friends asking you for discounts on their business, do you feel like friends should support full price, or do you feel like because they've been there and been down for you since you started that they should be discounted?
Nah, maybe one time when I just started up, you can get you a
It was probably the
discount.
guinea pig or the tester.
But does that deserve like a lifetime discount?
No, I'm saying, you're saying, she said the first time out.
okay.
They've already experienced it.
Yeah.
They was there,
Yeah.
I think I'm a firm believer in this. And I just recently started saying this. I'm not going to ask anybody for support because if you truly supported me, I wouldn't have to ask.
Yeah.
So if you truly support your friend, why are you asking for a discount? At that point, you're taking away from their coins.
Yeah.
You believe in me, then show that. Don't rob me of my coins because you want to get that friend discount. Like, it's one thing if you offer. It's another thing if people ask, come on, at that point you don't value my work.
I agree with Shadell, but then I also have a different turn that I want to go on. As far as you said, the guinea pig, you started there, you were there from day one, blah blah blah. I feel like at that point, let's hypothetically speak and say you brought up the whole, okay, you're a barber. Let's say I was the guy who kind of helped you inspire yourself to go ahead and do it, versus you saying, nah, it's a whole lot of barbers, or it's a lot of people doing this right now, so let me just not do it or whatever. But I'm that guy who's helping you say, okay, MJ, listen, if you want to do it, let's do it. I'll help you. I'll bring clients to you. I'll do this, and that. Then at that point, I feel like that help that you had, we don't know if you would have got there without that help. So I feel like if you can reward them in some type of way, maybe a couple times, but I'm not saying for life, but just a few times after that, because like I said, who knows where you would have been without that? Who knows if you would have did it on your own versus helping out with this over here?
Here's my thing with that, and I went through that exact situation. When I first started cutting, I was cutting for $5.
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
$5
To get your
cuts.
skills up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my skills up. I'm trying to get everybody in here. Let me fade you. So I have friends who I don't cut their hair anymore. Now check this. This is the funny thing about discounts and asking friends. I was charging $5, right? I went up to 15 not too long ago. So they dude, you was cutting our hair first. Why you charging us $15 now? I'm like, dude, I gotta make my money. Okay, pay $15. I go up again to a regular price of a haircut, which is ranging around $20 to $30, depending on who you go to, where you go. Now, oh nah, bro, I still want to pay the $5 that I was paying when you first started 3 years ago.
My work.
So you really that's basically an insult to me. My work not that good. You want to give me $5 for something that people paying $30 for. You don't respect me. Now I'm gonna tell you a funny thing. I see them going to a barber who charges $35 a cut. You won't pay me the $20 to $25 because you just don't like that I'm not giving you that discount no more.
But you can pay somebody else that money.
Now, is that a true friend?
Absolutely
Is that support?
Mm-mm.
Is that genuine support? You did let me start on you 3 years ago, but you have to realize that just like you paying your bills, I got to pay my bills too.
Right.
So by you trying to, I'm going to give you $5, I'm missing out on at least $20 to $25 to help you out with a cut. Now, is that smart for me, or is that that's not a good business for friends, family, none of that?
I feel like everybody has to link it together with other things because I mean, yeah, haircut is something, and we're saying haircuts because that's just where we're going at with MJ. But I feel like it goes back to you have to link it together with other stuff, like a haircut. Okay, yeah, MJ was cutting your hair for what, $5-10, now it's $25 or whatever. You still need that. That's something you need. You drink milk, you go to the store, it's $2. Okay, it done went up to $3, but you're not gonna get no milk no more because it went up.
Right.
So it's like whatever you need. And not to mention, if you like what's being done, why not? I mean, it's not like he messed up your head and you're like, nah, I'm not giving you $25. Right. But if you like what the services that he provide, why is it a problem for you to pay for it? So
it's that mindset, especially when it comes to like black-owned businesses too. A lot of black-owned businesses, it's hard for us to strive because, or to reach greatness because everybody is asking for a discount. Everybody is, oh, we saw you when you was here, and now you here, but I was helping you when you was here, so I need, like, dude, just genuinely support me. If I'm helping everybody with a discount, I'm not gonna make nothing off of that. If everybody wanna, oh, I get 20% off, or can I get this, can I get that? Man, it don't work like that.
I think people who always bring up what they did for you were never in it for you. It was what I can get out of it, you know? And so it was like, it's a selfish thing. Oh, he gonna get big, but I'm gonna get free cuts or free whatever that person has, you know? And I think if you have that mentality, then you're not supportive to start off with.
Yeah, and that's why, and I was just on the phone with my grandfather the other day. I feel like I have a mentality and been having it for a few years now. Whatever I do for you is just for you. Like, I don't even lend out money anymore. If you call me, hey, bro, I need $45, bro, I'll give it back next. If I want to give it to you, I'll give it to you. But once I give it to you, it's yours. I don't need it back. First off, because first of all, a lot of people forget that they borrowed money from you. Then, on top of that, because I've had a problem in the past where I've lended somebody $5. Not really a lot of money at all. But it's the principle that you told me you was going to give it back to me. So now when I ask you about it, it's, you still tripping? It's just $5. Well, it wasn't just $5 when you asked me for it.
You really needed it.
Yeah, you really needed it. So, yeah. That goes into Shadel's point. I feel like if you're going to do something for somebody, just do it.
Right.
Don't
expect for nothing in return.
Yeah, but then again, we have to understand that everybody's not the same. Everybody will never be the same. So you have to know that. You have to know the level of genuine compassion that somebody has for you over the time. So it's just something that's gonna always happen. You just have to be able to block it out.
A lot of it.
I feel that. I think what. I'm sorry. I just have a thought. What do y'all think about? If you don't have your own business, and let's say you working at a store or something like that, giving out them discounts to your friends.
Working at a store?
I mean, that's fine.
If it's not your or something, but then again, people use you for that too. Like, working for Locker. I could have do hair today. He was like, I never met him before. He's like, I work at Southwest Airlines. My first question was, discount? I don't know dude at all. I kind of went back into what I be talking about. And I got to thinking, I was like, I didn't ask him nothing about him. I didn't ask him his personal life, none of that. My first question was, what's your discount looking like on that flight?
But I mean, he doesn't have like his own business.
He's working for
somebody.
So
he's not losing nothing.
You're gonna lose that job if you get caught.
When people ask you like for discounts and stuff, a lot of it has to do with if I was like, say for instance, I cut hair, and if I was cutting somebody's hair, like since I was charging people $5 a cut, my cut's not worth $5. Like you're not finna get a cut like this for $5 nowhere. Literally,
this is top dollar.
So to me that's very disrespectful because you think my work still worth $5.
Exactly.
You crazy? Like seriously, like this is not a $5 cut. Yeah. So me, I base things on value. If I feel like it's valuable, I'm finna pay you what it's either worth, and I'm gonna tip you on top of it. And that's to me is supportive of me, and that mean that you respect what I got going. Now, if you still thinking, a lot of people do it a lot of times. Like people here, I was cutting first started cutting $5. Literally, somebody this week, how much you charge? You still charge $8? Still charge $5? No. Do you deserve my reply?
Really? I'm act like I don't see.
Look,
don't be asking for discounts. Support your friends. Pay that full price. And if you work at some of the store, sure, let them use your discount, but don't get fired. That's all I got.
And I just feel like friends know how hard you work to build that business up and build that brand. And they didn't seen how much money and effort and long nights you spent and put into that business. So it's just like, it's just disrespectful. Like, why would you discount me? Why would you bring down my value? That's not cool. So that's it for today's show. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at HeSaySheSay Radio. And make sure you tune in and follow us on Twitter at HeSaySheSay Crew. And that's it for today's show. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.